Yes. Please, look for it later when you return to the mansion. Monsieur Master, but that means revealing the... Kate, we should no longer conceal it from Mr. Gregory. Yes, sir, I understand. If that is what you wish. A recipe for a special drug. Just what are they hiding? Well then, I must be returning to the mansion now, so I will take my leave. Yes, we'll be heading there later as well. Kate? What is it, Monsieur Master? You should not live for my sake. You should reconsider your lifestyle, so that you can live by yourself even if I were no longer around. Please do not say things like that. I simply cannot live without you, Monsieur Master. I promise to wait for you until you return. Excuse me. Ah, Kate. Catherine. I mean, he is like a father to her. Master Jeff, Kate was crying. Why did you say something so cruel? I am worried about her. Catherine always puts me before herself. What do you mean? She collected Pierre Hoquet's works and makes sweets. All to make me happy, nothing more. That is the only reason she does anything. She always puts aside her own preferences and things that she wants to do herself. I want Catherine to choose to live her own life. I do not want her to waste her valuable life because of me. Is that so? He thinks of Miss Hall as his own daughter. And he would want his children to choose their own path in life. And a parent would do anything to protect their own child, or children. That feeling, I also know it well. Well, that should do it for the questions. We must return to the scene of the crime. Ah, it is already time to leave, I see. So will my tribulations of questioning resume? We should take measures against their interrogations, from our side as well. Can you ask the police about that? I can, but I have other ways in mind as well. When the time comes... Oh, you are a dependable man. I shall be counting on you. Master Jeff, we'll come here every day with reports of our progress. And we'll bring Kate too. Yes, thank you very much. I shall be looking forward to it. Mr. Master, know that the police will be attempting to get you to confess. I am sorry to ask an innocent soul like yourself to bear with these painful experiences. But please hold on for now. If you confess, I am positive that Von Karmel will use that to his advantage. And that will make helping you all that much more difficult. I understand. I shall do my best. If you believe in me until the bitter end, I will definitely get you out of here. Okay, we're back at the fountain patio. Wait, why is the music all fancy? Detective Baird, thank you for helping us earlier. Yes, thank you. Thanks for what? There's no need to be shy about it. Enough about that. I suppose you intend to investigate today too? Of course. We still need more information to prove Mr. Master's innocence. I'm sorry, but apart from this patio, you're not allowed to investigate anywhere else. What? So you're saying we can't investigate? I'm guessing this is Von Karma's doing? Yeah. Von Karma's a bit on edge at the moment. He still... oh, pardon me. Hasn't received the autopsy report. Moreover, the only ones in this mansion are Miss Hall and the police. So don't get your hopes up on speaking with the people connected to this case. Von Karma's being completely unreasonable. He's gone too far. Detective Baird, what do you intend to do? I promised. I'll do anything I can to assist you. You have my thanks. We won't let any of Von Karma's dirty trick get the best of us. Hell yeah. Detective Bad, is it alright if we investigate the fountain patio? Yes, but we've already finished checking everything. Except for the fountain. That's fine. As long as there is still something, I shall continue investigating. So who can I speak with? Oh, just follow me. Oh, nice. What are you investigating exactly? Sir, I'm testing the water in the fountain for foreign matter, sir. Have you found anything? It seems there's both chocolate and sherbet mixed in with the fountain water. It matches the chocolate from Jeff Masters' room. And the sherbet that melted in Isaac Dover's room. They all share the same composition. The fountain water circulates through streams that flow from each of the 4 rooms. Perhaps the melted sherbet flowed into the fountain. Also, someone's blood was detected as well. What are you saying? How could there have been blood in the fountain? Detective Bad, please think back to our investigation of the crime scene. Detective Bad, please look at the crime scene carefully once more. The bloodstain that should have remained at the crime scene has disappeared. I definitely didn't get any reports about the bloodstain being cleaned up. The blood disappeared from the crime scene. Also, part of the treasure chest was missing too. Perhaps the blood in the fountain belongs to this person. Who is that? The victim. Let's run a comparison with the blood on the murder weapon. Alright. It's a match. The blood in the fountain is Dover's. I wonder why the criminal spilled the blood, or the victim's blood, into the fountain. Victim's blood. Dover's blood was found in the fountain water. However, it was absent from the crime scene. Oh yeah. Kate? Miss Hall? I've come to investigate today. Ah, Monsieur Edgeworth. I apologise for my disgraceful behaviour earlier. Kate. She still looks a bit down. What Master said earlier must have been a real shock to her. I've prepared the photo I took of the desserts during the semi-finals. Please, take a look. Oh wow. Isaac Dover's, delicious scones, and... so cute! Delicious cake is so cute. Who's the other one? Oh yeah, Dingo Stavia. Monsieur Master also praised the design of Delicia's work very highly. Messieurs Gustavia and Dover's works gained high praise for both taste and design, but Monsieur Master said it felt like he was eating the exact same thing twice. But it seems that the desserts had completely different tastes for the finals. Was there anything else that was different between the finals and the semi-finals? It's nothing major, but there was something. During the contest, Monsieur Gustavia's son always came to see him, but there was no sign of him at the finals. His son came to visit? I wonder if there is any significance behind that. Would you mind leaving this photo with me? Certainly. Anything to aid in the investigation. Gustavia and Dover's desserts had different designs but tasted exactly the same. And here's the recipe book that contains the special drug for curing taste disorders. That cover looks familiar. It was in, yeah, the frame. Wasn't this framed in Master's room? Since it's also the prize for the contest, we put it out on display. Ah, so the contest prize, Angel's Recipe, wasn't just a recipe for desserts. That's right, we've informed the participants, but it seems you all don't know yet. So the participants knew about the true contents of the Angel's Recipe. Angel's Recipe Book contains the recipe for the drug that will cure the taste disorder hypogeusia. Gozia. Still don't know how you really say it, but, you know, whatever. Miss Hall, please tell me all you know about Angel's Recipe. The Angel's Recipe. Bum bum. So the Angel's Recipe contains the formula for the drug. Bum 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 bum. Yes, it's a recipe book for new drugs that haven't been released to the public yet. Oh. If sold to a pharmaceutical company, I'm sure it would fetch a substantial price. Why is something like that a prize in the contest? Monsieur Master is the only heir to the chairman of the Master Group. Master Group? That name sounds familiar. They're a pharmaceutical company who deal in a wide range of products. They've become big news recently with the release of Cold Killer X. I often use the Cold Killer products, but I've never once seen you with a cold. I would like to hear more about the Master Group. Okay, so the Master Group. So did Mr. Master not want to follow in his parents' footsteps? Monsieur Master wanted to bring joy to people with his desserts. His parents also wanted him to become a great pastry chef and supported him. When his parents died, the recipe book was left to him as his inheritance. Why would he give away a memento of his parents as a prize in the contest? There were always people who were after it, something which has troubled Monsieur Master. But just giving away the memento would have been disrespectful to his parents. So he decided to pass it over to someone he acknowledged. And the members of the Master Group approved of that. Oh, pardon me. Information about new drugs being passed on to outsiders. Of course they objected. That's why Delicia participated in the contest. On the orders of the Master Group, she was requested to win the championship. You knew Delicia's true identity from the start? Yes. In order for her to win, I told her Monsieur Master's tastes and preferences. Why did you help her? I helped her in order to protect Monsieur Master and the Master Group. So if the drug recipes were given to another company, he would be reprimanded by the board. I wanted to return the recipes to the company in a way that Monsieur Master would accept. So it was due to Miss Hall's help that Delicia was able to reach the finals. Speaking of which, Mr. Dover wasn't a pastry chef either. He sure did well to make it to the finals, considering he's just a sculptor. Yes, for him to be able to make such fine desserts despite being a sculptor. From the sherbet sculptures he made for the finals, it's clear to see he has great talent, but could he really have made that by himself? That is all I know. Is there anything else I can do to help? To save Mr. Master, she's trying to help as much as she can. May we perhaps have some more of that tea from yesterday, please, Miss Hall? I'm sure that would help us get on with the investigation. Yeah, I'd like some of Kate's tea too. Right, understood. I'll be back in a minute. And there she goes. Kay looks a bit better now. Bum bum bum. Investigation complete. Woohoo! We've gathered information about all the contestants. And yet we still haven't heard Gustavia's side of the story. That reminds me. Why did you enter Mr. Dover's room, Mr. Gustavia? Ah, well, that was because... Yeah, silence, you... ignoramus. You're not to give that attorney the tiniest hint of information. What exactly was he doing in Mr. Dover's room? And moreover, something is odd about his semi-finals entry. A pastry chef bad at designing, and a sculptor skilled only at designing. It would have been extremely difficult for either of them to win the contest alone. Could it be that Mr. Gustavia and Mr. Dover's connection is... Detective Bad? They helped each other out? We have reason to suspect the actions of Dean Gustavia. Yeah. It's imperative that we find a way to contact him at once. Oh? This conversation is most interesting. Of course. It's from Karma! However, I cannot allow you to speak with Mr. Gustavia. Von Karma. I have already conducted my interrogation of him. It is not necessary for him to speak any further, especially to a mere defense attorney. Tisk tisk tisk, but I will answer your questions in that fool's place. It seems Von Karma intends to prevent me from meeting Gustavia in person. I understand. In that case, I have but one thing to ask you. Yes? I would like to know the relationship between Mr. Gustavia and Mr. Dover. Oh, it's argument time. Their connection. Gustavia and Dover's relationship? It's obvious the only relationship they had was that they happened to participate in the same contest. That was it, really? You shitting me? That's it. There is nothing more to say. What? How are we supposed to understand anything from so little? If we want Von Karma to divulge the truth, we have no choice but to present evidence. It's all too obvious that he's hiding something. I'm also not going to press. It seems very pointless. Obviously, the only relationship they had was that they happened to participate in the same contest. Not true. It's also the fact that their desserts tasted the exact same. Objection! There we go. I win! Prosecutor Von Karma, I'd like you to look at these desserts. The desserts were made from for the contest's semi-finals. Don't you think these two have a particularly impressive design? Just what are you getting at? These two desserts were made by Mr. Gustavia and Mr. Dover. I wouldn't exactly call Mr. Gustavia's design skills praiseworthy, and yet for the semi-finals he was able to produce something comparable to Mr. Dover's. Furthermore, these two desserts have the exact same flavour. What are you trying to say? I'm saying it's possible they collaborated with each other on their entries. Prosecutor Von Karma, please take a closer look at their desserts. At first glance, they may look completely different. But even though the designs are different, it's clear they were made from the same material. Oh yeah, you can see, the flowers are the same. Yeah, is that so? The same flavour and composition. It's impossible to dismiss the similarity as coincidence. The very existence of these two desserts points to a link between Mr. Gustavia and Mr. Dover. Since you already know this much, I'll tell you the truth. Okay. Did Von Karma know about their collaboration? However, what I'm about to say is not going to help your case at all. Alright, lay it on me. Their real connection. If you want to know about Gustavia and Dover's connection so badly, I'll tell you. Last night, when I interrogated Gustavia, he told me about his connection with Dover. Until the day before the finals, they worked on their desserts together. That's it. Really? You knew about their cooperation all this time, didn't you? Why would you conceal the truth? Because it's Von Karma. It's what he does. He don't give a shit about the truth. He just wants a guilty verdict. I would appreciate it if you didn't sully my reputation. Until I explain my points in court, I avoid giving away unnecessary details. I was merely saving you time. How can he act like this and keep the truth from us? His concealment of the truth is something I simply cannot ignore. Their real connection. I'll try pressing these. Can I actually do the voice command? Hold it. Maybe not. Hold it. Yeah, I guess not. Sadly, 'tis a damn shame. It seems you knew about their real connection all along. Why did you hide it from us? Tisk tisk tisk. I would never divulge information to a mere insect such as yourself so easily. I am not a fool like that detective after all. I was just doing things my way. It was because you defied me that he gained this information in the first place. Yeah. You told me of their connection. Oh shit, I didn't read it. Afterwards, I went to interrogate Gustavia personally. Interrogated by Von Karma? Ugh, sounds scary. No, Mr. Gustavia, I feel like he probably tried to meditate through the interrogation. No, he closed his eyes. I snapped my fingers, like so, to show him that no one remained silent in front of me. And did that have any effect? Because of that, I was able to get a perfect confession about his connection with Dover. Right, I'm going to press on that again. But mostly because I want to see what he says. Yeah, I didn't realise. So last night... That was after Mr. Dover's sculptures had melted, right? Yeah, I can just zoom through this. There we go. Until the day before the finals, they worked on their desserts together. What could I present? My part was very salty. Also, Dover's not technically a chef. He's a sculptor. Go for it. Yeah, I just fixed my tie. You say that Miss Gustavia and Mr. Dover did not collaborate during the finals. That's strange. Delicia testified that Dover's sherbet was most delicious. But a novice chef, or being a novice chef, I doubt he could have done all that by himself. Perhaps the two of them cooperated during the finals as well. Defense attorney. How many times do I have to tell you? Delicia Scone's subjective opinion cannot be admitted as evidence. There is still a chance that a novice chef could make something tasty. My wife is an amateur, yet her cooking rivals that of world-class chefs. How is that not a subjective opinion? Moreover, even if you take this pharmacist's testimony to be true, it changes nothing. She also mentions that a part of his sherbet was very salty. Which means that you can hardly call his entry for the finals perfect. Oh. Tisk tisk tisk. What, no more objections? Is there no way I can prove their collaboration? Mr. Edgeworth? There's something that's been bugging me. What is it? The desserts Mr. Dover made for the finals would have taken a long time to make, right? Indeed. They were frozen sculptures after all. How would he have had time to sculpt it after it was frozen? Let alone help Mr. Gustavia with his designs as well. The way I see it, just waiting for the sherbet to freeze would have used up all of his time. Just how was he able to make those sherbet sculptures? Raymond, you may have a promising future after all. Look at his face. Thanks to you, I have noticed one more possibility. Nice. That's right. Mr. Dover's sherbet needed time to freeze properly. And the contest time limit would not have been enough. The method Mr. Dover used to make his sherbet within the time limit was... prepared in advance. Yeah. They weren't desserts. If the sherbet was prepared in advance, all he'd need to do was sculpt it. And he's a master sculptor. You. Just what are you mumbling about? Please, excuse me. I finally realised. Your earlier view was correct. Huh? Mr. Edgeworth? What are you doing? Oh, so you're finally admitting defeat. No, all I'm admitting to is the truth of one of your statements. Dover and Gustavia's collaboration lasted only until the day before the finals. It is exactly as you said. They only cooperated until the day before the finals. The sculptures in Mr. Dover's room were all made out of sherbet. Such an amount would most likely need to be left overnight to freeze, which means Miss Gustavia prepared Mr. Dover's sherbet in advance the day before. That's right, so you realise Gustavia's cooperation ended the day before the finals. Then why did Mr. Dover not help Miss Gustavia in return? The views of the dead are of no concern to me. Ow. If you are going to answer that, if you aren't going to answer that, I'll need to get in touch with Mr. Gustavia himself. Or was your interrogation not quite as thorough as you claim? You ingrate. You dare mock me? That was not my intention, but I do have a problem with your attitude. I want you to give us a clear reason why we can't speak to Mr. Gustavia in person. A clear reason? Gustavia and Dover's collaboration has no bearing on this case. I object. You claim their collaboration is irrelevant. If Mr. Gustavia and Mr. Dover's relationship had turned sour, It could serve as a motive for murder. You're saying that Gustavia and Dover's collaboration was linked to the motive for the murder. If that were the case, why did he not conceal it? After all, we found out about this collaboration from Gustavia himself. If you really are a lawyer, show us evidence that gives us reason to suspect Gustavia. Only one of Mr. Gustavia's actions has been suspicious so far. Doubtless Von Karma already knows this fact. This could be a trap by Von Karma. What's wrong, defense attorney? Not going to answer. But I mustn't back down now. Mr. Gustavia sneaked into Mr. Dover's room. His reasons for this are currently unclear. But the very fact he secretly entered the victim's room is reason enough to suspect him. It was a trap. It was a trap. Tisk tisk tisk. If that's the extent of it, I can dispel those doubts. I knew it. Was it a trap after all? I was intending to save this for the courtroom, but I'll make a special exception. We wouldn't want to prolong the trial with unnecessary information, would we? Take a look at this. Aww. This is Parent Care Day. This is a photo of Gustavia and Dover, and their sons. Photo of Gustavia, Dover, and their sons. Gustavia's son always came to visit up until the finals. Oh. Gustavia entered Dover's room in order to steal this photo. To steal the photo? It seems their sons attended the same elementary school. Apparently he thought that he'd be suspected if people found out he and Dover were acquainted. Yes, just like you're doing now. There is nothing suspicious about Gustavia's actions. No further room for argument. Go! Oh no! Oh. He's still adamant on not letting us meet Mr. Gustavia. I have an investigation to return to. I have no more time to waste on the likes of you. Oh, well there we go. Curse out Von Karma, calling us a waste of time. What shall we do, Mr. Edgeworth? At this rate, Master Jeff will be... Von Karma is... busy? Of course. Why would he be so busy? Both the body and the murder weapon have been found, and he already has his suspect. The police should have more than enough evidence to prove Mr. Master's guilt. If that's the case, then why is Von Karma still investigating the crime scene? Mr. Edgeworth? Is there something wrong? It seems I have been overlooking a matter of vital importance. Considering that he already has the evidence he needs to convict Mr. Master, I feel that Von Karma isn't as composed as he should be. He didn't even tell Detective Bad the full results of the investigation. So, yeah. Von Karma's a bit on edge at the moment. He still hasn't received the autopsy report. Oh, I'm getting logic now. Okay. No autopsy report. A day after the incident, the autopsy report still has not arrived. Right. Furthermore, something vanished from the crime scene, and we still don't know why. Detective Bad, please look at the crime scene carefully once more. The bloodstain. The bloodstain that should have remained at the crime scene has disappeared. Bloodstain disappeared, the victim's blood was not found in Mr. Master's room. I definitely didn't get any reports about the bloodstain being cleaned up. But the strangest thing we found wasn't in Mr. Master's room at all. The fountain. It's a match. The blood in the fountain is Dover's. Blood in the water fountain. Traces of Dover's blood was found in the fountain water. Mr. Dover's blood vanished from Mr. Master's room, and somehow found its way into the fountain. What does this mean? Oh. Bloodstain disappeared, blood in the fountain. Connect those two together. Although the victim's blood wasn't found in... Wait. Although the victim's blood wasn't found in Mr. Master's room... It was detected in the water fountain. There would be no need for the killer to conceal the bloodstains after the body was found. It's unnatural that only the bloodstains that were found with the body disappeared. Unless the body was moved, the blood would have still remained on the chocolate. Don't tell me. Someone removed the body and then erased the bloodstains. Was the body removed? Body vanished, or blood vanished from the scene because the body was removed. Okay, so now I have to connect those two together. Hey, Remorse. How's it going? It's possible that the body was removed from the crime scene, and the autopsy report still has not arrived. Although we have a murder weapon and a suspect, we don't know much about the body. I've been investigating under the assumption that the body had been discovered. Perhaps this assumption was wrong from the very beginning. Why didn't Von Karma give Detective Bad the autopsy report? To understand that, yes, I must turn my logic around. Yeah, always. My thinking shouldn't be, why is Von Karma hiding information about the body? But rather, what if Von Karma doesn't even have the information to begin with? What happens if I think of it like that? It's possible that the body wasn't removed by the police for autopsy. It was moved and hidden by the real killer. Yeah, the Ace Attorney series is fucking awesome.